In order to truly love, you can't have any long-term attachments, right? Um, uh, yeah, little Cameron, you know, he only had a little brief um, time and existence in his family's life, right? But his parents and his grandparents and everybody that was in his life will always have a love for him, will always love him, right? Even though he was not here very long, right? And so, in order to truly love, you can't have any forms of quote attachments. And attachment is wanting things to be of your will. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. But when you obey natural laws and you don't have a stressful, toxic environment, you have less birth defects, heart disease, and diseases that take people away from us. Okay. One of the best is Charles Dickens and Tiny Tim, right? God bless us, everyone, right? And so, and then Scrooge realizing that his selfishness would lead to a more rapid demise of Tim because Tim was fragile because he was such a kind-hearted soul that the abuse was very difficult for him. The competition, the abuse was very difficult for him to bear and stand. All right. Now, we don't need challenges and obstacles in our life to be stronger. Like on Star Trek with the man and all that stuff. We don't. Okay. The more obstacles and challenges we have in our way, the more it kills the kind, and the selfish and the vicious perceive themselves as being successful. Okay. Now, Sun Yat-sen, about the farmer, and Suzuki, about the farmer, right? And old Watkins, weak worker bees get in the way. That's bullshit. Okay. If it wasn't for the worker bees, okay, the sloths, the people that are lazy that just sit and eat everything that everybody works for and eat themselves to death, okay, wouldn't be able to eat themselves to death. And the people that are vicious and work out and come take all your food, Hopper, and Flitz had enough, right? So the worker bees, the farmer, like Suzuki and so, Abraham will always be superior to Pharaoh and to Caesar. That's why Jesus is the standard of male behavior and not Caesar, Pharaoh, Napoleon, and so forth. Okay, so that one with Khan, all right, is no. I was 5 times stronger than you. That's not true. Okay. That guy was that drug dealer is twice my size. Okay. I was 5'11", 155 pounds. He was about 6'4", about 225. Okay. He was going to get his ass kicked. Okay. And he knew it. Okay. Because I had that, I hit that brink where it's like, I hit that point where okay, this is it. I've had enough. There's not much stuff. I'm going to leave the note pinned inside your coat and leave the garden gate unlocked, right? You know me. And that's the way it is. And then people, they studied me and they're like, well, what is it that does this and stuff? Well, I earned the right for the ki or the chi or the energy to flow through my body to protect the people. I'm like Samson. Okay. I know I don't look. Job was like Samson, okay, and I don't look that way. I've got melanoma scarring on my shins, trying to kick all the toxins and poisons from the genocide operations in this valley out, and I will not accept money from military genocide groups to go clean up and live a better life because none of those cowards will stand up with me, right? They're not required to fight you over what they want. They're required to obey the Lord, but you don't allow them mass access to the Lord. The Lord, the Lord, right? All you Diary of Mad Black Women out there, and the St. Louis Arches, right? My mom was born in St. Louis, yeah. Military brat, but sandy beaches, Yeah, you guys, I look a lot like my mother. And you guys murdered my mother like you murdered Shelby and Trisha with abuse. Okay. It's murder. Disease is murder. Okay. Disease is not an act of nature or an act of God. Okay. Just like the nuclear weapon and the holding stuff hostage in buildings and transported around in diesel engines is not an act of God. Okay. Life's eternal, grace is infinite, share, care, given accordance to need, build to last. If you can't do that, you're going to have to forgive debt and trespass, love one another, faithful peace, and goes back to the start to begin, right? Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Shit up, rabbit, shit up, shitting up, right? And so, the maker of all things, the creator, they're asking it wrong. They're saying who created everything. It's no. Do not try to grasp the infinite with the finite. It'll drive you mad. Merely submit to faith and infinite glory because there's no other possible source or containment. That's not a difficult act when you want to obey natural laws to have an eternal life of sacrifice through loving one another. It's very simple. Okay. Now, I don't expect, when I reach out to, because the Temple of Set Illuminati used certain people to head fuck me, okay, I don't expect a romantic existence with, Jennifer Lopez or Janet Jackson to have a close, tight-knit relationship with their children. I don't have a romantic relationships with the women I married, and I'm not allowed to and do not have a close-knit, trusting relationship with the children from my marriages. Okay? So, but being the gracious good shepherd and being right when others are wrong, being good when others are bad, and being truthful when others are trying to hide in their lie, and there's 8 billion people on the planet. Survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. I will be okay. Like the man with the companion on Star Trek. It's not the Earth, it's an asteroid. There's no sun. It's an asteroid belt. Where's the photosynthesis coming from? Using Willy Wonka's imagination and Oompa Land. Yeah, that's where it's coming from. Carol, you'd be watching this like, gravity doesn't work the same way on an asteroid belt that it works. And okay, but maybe it works differently as Pluto, little Pluto. The photosynthesis, depending on how, I don't know how it could work in different, it would be pretty hard because that's an asteroid belt where Pluto's going through. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and there's no. And could a planet provide a photosynthesis for a moon? Which I don't know. Okay, how? Because I don't know. I cannot tell you. I'm not a scientist, nor a philosopher, nor a physicist be. But I can tell you I am better than physicists. Well, because I understand and obey eternal natural laws better than physicists. Physicists try to eliminate the essence of natural laws to replace the essence of natural laws with the mind. This is the same principle tenets in religion in Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism, okay, are similar. Hinduism was horrifically corrupted by selfish fallacy to manipulate the masses. Same with Christianity. Now, Buddhism has the least forms of selfish corruption because they're a radical reaction to the oppression and the abuse of what people were doing of Hinduism. We got to stop the cow. There's the cow. Okay. What's the deal with the idolatry shit? And all the magical thinking. Okay. And Christianity was corrupted by Constantine with Roman thought. Stoicism is a byproduct of survival through mythological tribal sex cult gibberish. Okay? You understand? It's how there's a psychotic brain and the brain tries to survive. Train, go take all you want from the Troyans. Destroy their city. Say Iraq, this will bring your family honor. And yeah, you see what I'm saying? Okay, so it will bring honor to us all. You couldn't understand honor if Confucius kicked you in the dick every day for 15 years through early bird. Okay? It's for dad. It is. Okay, so I'm tired. I could look and feel a lot better if I wasn't abused by all the business partners of all the narcissists. So, while you're selling us little drinks from Dunkin', yeah. Yeah, so yeah. I think a woman would have to consider herself fortunate to be the sexual companion and comforter of me, the man who saves children from being raped to death in brothels in Mexico before COVID, and then saves us from Benicio del Toro and Leonardo DiCaprio movies in El Paso, and Clevezel trying to replace me with Wahlberg and Gibson. Apocalypto my ass. Okay, I'm Jaguar Pearl, fun as Flint Sky. So Earl, I'm pretty pissed. Yeah, I should be. This is me pretty pissed off. Well, I'm right, and they're wrong. I'm good, and they're bad. Okay, hey, I'm the way, the truth, and life. What can I say? I'll only be on this YouTube for a short while longer because they plan on murdering me. They do have those plans. Tom Homan, that is a dumb man, and so are all his business partners. How is a newborn baby gonna protect you from technology that took its guy like me and plugged it into a computer, and they were trained to withstand that kind of abuse over thousands of years because they knew it was going to happen? I wasn't, because it didn't happen here because of violent sexual conflict in a small population. Okay, and because we have a small population of less acceptance of eternal forms of horrific oppression through mind manipulation, through cults, violent sex cult behavior, okay, can be, hey, raid the village, kill all theirs, rape it, or it can be, if someone else from outside the group has a baby with that child, we kill it, and we kill the person that went outside the group. Okay. There's no difference between what happened on the Trail of Tears, okay, and the Long Walk than what happened during the Korean War on MASH. Right? There's no difference. It's just another part of me. It's just a different psychotic break, and dealing with that psychotic break in a different manner, but it's still a psychotic break that doesn't understand and obey natural laws, doesn't honor the gift of life in our form given to us by greater than your brain, right? Shamana, wamana, bing, bom, bomana. Why doesn't Richard Dawkins explain it to us this intelligently and simply? Why isn't Sam Harris saving us from the scourge of Abrahamic religion there with the truth of Abrahamic religion? Because he's not the truth of Abrahamic religion. I are. Baboon, weasel. Okay. So do you understand? That's why Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen was, they called him a Christian. The lady wasn't being wrong. She was saying the only person he could trust in meditation and prayer at that time, because of all the betrayal and people close to him, was the line of Jesus. Okay. That's why Sun Yat-sen prayed and meditated. Suzuki did the same thing, because they had become so ninjutsu, so poison, so Assassin Creed, that the only person they could trust in prayer was from outside of the tribe. Okay. Me and Jesus get too emotional because he's been adapted to the genocide tribe of my culture. And everybody prays to him as their alter ego instead of accepts him as the eternal spirit of just another part of me, right? Okay. So, but when I talk to, remember, I had a lot easier time talking to people of Muslim descent who see Jesus as the prophet of faith in God and a man, and not as God. But the people in the corporations that consider themselves Muslim did not consider me part of the prophets because I eat pork, T for Texas, T for Tennessee, and don't perform systematic rituals that cults do in the same manner they do, because I'm not from the same cults. Go figure. Yes, sir. Make sure you cure that bacon. You haven't had a pepperoni pizza? Lo siento. So sorry. Not too much, but once a month, it's not bad. 3 meat lovers? Wow. You eat the cow. You have to serve the cow, but you do not eat the pig. The pig, in southern climates, bacteria in pigs can cause you deep problems if you don't prepare the meat correctly. If you eat too much meat, It's unhealthy for you. You can't properly digest it. Okay. So you need to have a balanced diet or you will die. Everybody knows this. We've known this since hanker for a hunk of cheese and would you exercise? Exercise each and every day. If the doctor said it's good for me. We've known this for years. Okay. So in order to have balance in your diet, if you want to eat sugar, you're going to have to get up and move. Sugar is a reward for work. Okay. Not a give yourself a sugar coma to die because you're lazy. Okay, don't be lazy. If you're going to eat sugar, tell yourself, okay, I've got work to do. I got to exercise. I got to work out. Okay. Now, I understand why a lot of people get lazy because of the abuse and the toxins from the stress. So I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm just telling you you're living in a bad world and that bad is becoming you and destroying you. And it's been doing so for tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of years. Because of violent sexual behavior, because of oppression, because of selfishness, because of comparisons. Tell your teacher, don't compare. Right? Let's talk about empathy and respect. Well, if I respect them, they won't want to be servants. If you give them the respect they deserve and they reciprocate it to you, they won't be your servants and you won't be theirs. And you'll do your own dishes and your own laundry and you'll plant your own garden and you'll wipe your own baby's bottom. And you'll clean up the baby puke off of your shirt, not have somebody else do it for you, right? Won't build mansions that are opulent and disgusting because there's not enough room for enough people to love one another in those rooms, right? Houses should be built for families, not a palace for mass murderers. Okay? Well, all the palaces and castles you see, why do you want to go see a place where people mass murdered for hundreds and thousands of years and then think one of these days I'm going to have one of these things? Good God, pull your head out of your ass, Captain. Okay, do you understand? No. Yeah, when you watch a lot of those things, you're dealing with a military mindset that run genocidal operations through propaganda and will kill you if you don't find ways to celebrate or over-exaggerate their self-importance through their great explorer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So Gene Roddenberry is a product of his imagination and of his environment. Same with L. Ron Hubbard and Dave Miscavige and old Tommy Cruise. Right? Baby, let's cruise away from here. Rapido, man, get in that helicopter. No, you'll be as happy as a tornado in a trailer park. Put her down. Okay. Life could be a dream if I could take you up to paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Shaboom, shaboom, and open your. So, it'd be nice if we could help Tommy Cruise save himself from his own ego. You think it's tangible? Could do it, Denzel Washington. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know, man. I tried with the Obamas for 15 years now. And the only one I got any kind of results was my Sasha, and that's when she was little. And then they said, no, he's a really bad pervert. Okay, so now I'm Gordon B. Hinckley. Okay. I thought Hinckley was my friend, like Jimmy with the stealing the G.I. Joe, robbing, being a Robin Hood and Zorro and robbing from the rich and stealing from the poor. His dad is rich and exploits all of us is what the common thought was. And, his dad will buy him more toys. Our dads can't afford to buy us these toys. Oh, damn Disney, right? Okay. I was a product of my environment. I wasn't a bad person. Gordon B. Hinckley was a bad person, watching my sisters go through puberty privately through his science projects and not giving us the privacy we deserve to, Allah decides, let's go eat, right? He doesn't breed the best horses in all of Utah. No. Hooah. No, my dad told that story about that, where mom got it, and he got this bad horse. No, he wasn't a bad horse. He was in a bad situation. Yeah. Mom had him go breed with the right one, but they wanted a show horse because Cuban was so sweet. Well, Oblige was not sweet at all. Okay. Oblige had to kick the shit out of a cougar, a mountain lion. Okay? Be able to stomp a rattlesnake to death. Oblige was a badass. He had the sweetest, most gorgeous mother on the planet. And he was one of the most gorgeous. He was in the dick measuring contest in the show horse thing. All the rest of the horses didn't show because it was like, okay, that would be Long Dong Silver right there. He put it out, and I felt embarrassed for Dad. It's like the rest of the horses didn't try because they knew, God dang. They were Mick Daly in the locker room with the, oh, I'm biggest dickest. Making me shrivel up like the day I was born. But that's animals, and we're human beings. Okay? And if you got 5 3/4 or 12 inches, you're both going to get the job done. Okay? But more girls might want to lose their virginity to Dinkelman than biggest dickest. If he keeps it comfortable, hits the spot, and he's a perfect lover, and he's the Energizer Bunny of love, the magic never ends. How do we keep the music playing? Get Gordon B. Hinckley and Biggest Dickus out the house. Jim, tell Marlon Perkins he's full of shit, man. Okay? Just like when I was a kid. Jim don't know. What the hell? And then the crocodile hunter was like, you should have... You're being like Jim from Marlon Perkins. You're gonna get yourself killed. Selling people's products and insert Mutual of Omaha's people you can count on to pay money for your kids to survive because you died doing wrestling alligators for Marlon fucking Perkins there? God damn it, Jim, stop it. Gods must be crazy. Get rid of that fucking Coke bottle, right? Okay, Earl, it's true. There's nothing so-so because I know. I guarantee you the kiddo on Dancing with Stars would give all his fame and his money away to dance with his father, like Luther Vandross said, privately instead of publicly. Put on a show for Marlon Perkins and his insurance money that killed Jim wrestling an alligator to pay his bills, assholes. Earl, I know how gorgeous I am. You have to say things pragmatically and truthfully. You can't tiptoe around the truth. If you try to tiptoe around the truth, you're full of shit and you're a liar. That's what that Persian kid was trying to talk about with Michelle Obama. She's not beautiful. She has some beautiful deed to her. Okay? She's not standing up for Lord's Prayer. So no, she's not Esther. But guess what, bitch? You're not King David. Okay? You ain't nearly as gorgeous as me, and we don't need a scientific method to measure people's facial features to say, hey, Marianne Murphy isn't as physically attractive as Marie Antoinette. I'll let that bitch eat cake. My mom is going to keep all the Mexican and black kids safe from Marie Antoinette's bigotry by standing up for them when no one else of her color will. Yeah, okay. Right here. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Ladies love cool Earl. Okay. They do. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. A billion motherfuckers couldn't show me nothing. They bees in the trap. Bees in the trap. Okay, guys. I love you, man. All right? Peace.